Jesse Quebbeman-Turley. I'm one of the founders of the Deseret Experimental Opera Company.
My name is Logan Hune. I'm one of the creators of the Deseret Experimental Opera Company with Jesse Quebbeman-Turley and Luke Swenson.
Our piece is called The Parking Lot for Hyacinths. It's an experimental opera.
It's going to be performed at BYU's Nelke Theater on Friday and Saturday, August 9th and 10th, 2013.
It's about a city planner who's trying to return the world to its natural state. Kind of.
Experimental opera is such an open-ended term, so essentially I think what we're coming down to is there's a sound element, a visual element, and then text. So some form of combination of those three, to us, I think, is experimental opera.
So what led us to it was the works of one of our mentors, a guy that we both play with a lot, named Christian Asplund, who he lived up in Seattle, and they started the Seattle Experimental Opera Company, and we're kind of modeled after them.
I wrote a short piece a few months ago called Strawberries in the Hive. It's like a 30-minute, more of a house show opera. At that point, I hadn't really included the theater aspect as far as the acting, which was a big thing that we wanted to add this time. But just how we've done it so far is just starting with a libretto, just a text, a storyline with the lyrics, and yeah, feeling it out.
Basically, we wanted to do works that were bigger than just a show, of like a holistic, interdisciplinary thing that was bigger than just a rock show, or bigger than an indie show or whatever. So, it's a collaboration with, we have a team of 4 visual artists who are doing the sets, costume design, props, promotional stuff. We have a band of 7 people, but that's like, bass, clarinet, viola, violins, percussion, trumpet. We have a choir, a 6-person choir, and then 5 cast members who are opera singers,
It's pretty inspiring being around that many people that are really talented and skilled and all working on the same project together.
As musicians and creative people, we're surrounded all the time by these potential connections and by other creative people who we're inspired by. And the idea with this is basically like everyone we found who we were inspired by, we asked, hey, you want to be part of this? And it ended up building this huge community of people who are all inspired by the piece and inspired by the idea of telling of a work that's, narrative, visual, and musical. That's sound, sight, and story all put together. And that bigger vision has brought a lot of people together, and that's been incredibly inspiring to us as musicians, as composers, as visual artists. That's been to me the most amazing thing, is the community that's gathered around the piece. We improvise, but we improvise within a structure, and so that's a different thing than, a very concise, put together 2-minute pop song, or that's a different thing than jazz or classical music. So people will see things that are not common, and they'll also see a work that has had a lot of thought behind it and a lot of energy, just a lot of energy sunk into it.
There's definitely some pieces that I'm really excited for the audience to hear, and there's some really great moments, I think, that me and Jesse have somehow managed to put together, and yeah, it's exciting.
There's going to be stuff that probably people haven't heard before, or ideas that people haven't seen fleshed out before, but it's in no way harsh music. It's not meant to be, and it's not. We at least hope it's not like overly intellectual or self-serving. For us, we really want people to be there and to enjoy it, and we think that if you come with an open mind, like it'll work. It'll mean something to people. We want as many people to do this as are interested. We want people to write these, not just us. We're not interested in it just being us. We're inviting in whoever feels inspired by the idea of writing an opera. We want them to do it.
honestly, we're kind of more interested in the more DIY approach to this, and don't want it to be such an academic thing. We're really into spontaneous operas, things that are just happening, like house show operas, operas on the street, like, yeah, we really want it to be this more punk rock aesthetic that people can just, they don't have to feel intimidated by the idea of opera. It's not this huge thing to be scared of. It's just another way to present music and text.
Parking Lot for Hyacinths is the name of the opera. It'll be performed Friday and Saturday, August 9th and 10th at 7:30 in the Nelke Theater at BYU.
You can find it online on Facebook at facebook.com/Deseret Experimental Opera Company. And you should definitely come.